Let's get started with AWS organizations. I'm currently logged into my AWS portal, and to get into organizations, I will use this search box to type organizations. The first thing that I will see is AWS organizations. I'll click on that to navigate there. What you notice here is that I've already added few accounts under my organization. Now, when you navigate to your subscription under AWS organizations, you will see one of them by default because you are the owner of one of the accounts. Now, if you would like to invite somebody to be under your organization, and you would invite someone if you are trying to, let's say, acquire a company or trying to collaborate some work with that organization, then you would prefer to invite them and keep them under the same organization. Remember, the whole purpose is to have the same set of policies, ensure that they are governed under the single umbrella. To invite an organization, all you got to do is click on Add Account and then click on Invite Account. If that organization does not have an account, then you can also click on Create Account. You have to fill up these fields to create an account. Otherwise, if you'd like to invite account, you need to type the email address or the account ID of the subscription that you would like to invite to, and then just click on Invite. And once that is done, the person on the other side would get an email. They have to accept your invitation, and that's when they will be visible under your account section. And that's how I'm able to see two accounts under my organization. You can also organize your accounts under the organization umbrella and then set up service control policies and also tag policies. These two things must be enabled on the bottom right hand side. You can alternatively enable it under the policies section. At this point it is disabled, but if you would like to enable it, all you got to do is click on it and then enable service control policies. I will enable it now. Now the service control policies are enabled for my organization. I'll go back to my policies and also enable tag policies by just clicking on this enable tag policies button. It will take less than a minute to enable it for my organization. There you go. Now once that is done, I'm ready to create policies and assign it to the accounts that I have. I'll give this policy a name, let's say tagging for accounts or something, and then you can give it a description as well. Now if I scroll down slowly, under the key section, I can enforce a key value pair. For the key section, you can just type, let's say owner field, and then you have the following values available. Use the capitalization that you have specified above for the tag key. Do you want this to be capitalized and inherited from the parent policy to all the accounts? Is this key allowed? And would you like to prevent non-compliant operations for this tag? I will leave these as default at this time, but the objective is to tell you that the owner tag can be pushed and you can add multiple tags as well. Let's say I would like to have a key of application name. How about I would also like to have cost center. Now by doing this, I'm enforcing the following keys called cost center, application name, and owner. That means any resource that is created under this account must have these three attributes. Let's click on create policy and finish this. There you go. Our policy tagging for accounts is created. Now I will show you how you can attach this particular policy to an account. To attach a policy to an account, you can go back to organize accounts, and then you will see your two accounts that you have in your organization. One is an account that you already have, which is a root account or a master account, and the second one is nothing but the invited account. Now I'll click on one of them. You can also select both of them, doesn't matter. Once they are selected, you will go ahead and click on tag policies. Then click on attach. You will be able to see all the policies that you have created under your organization. All you got to do is identify your account and then click on attach. This would be attaching the policy that we just created. Similarly, all the policies that you would like to create can be created under tag policy or service control policy. Just like the way we created policy for tagging, you can also create a policy for service control policies. Here, you can give more granular permissions about various applications, or service offerings that can be created under Amazon Web Services. Remember that this is a JSON format at this time. In order to create a policy effectively, all you got to do is select these services that you have on the left hand side. Let's say you would like to have certain access to cloud directory, and then the various actions that can be performed on that service would then be listed here. So if you'd like to have batch read permissions or batch write permissions on that directory, you need to select them and leave them unselected. You will notice that on the right hand side, the JSON policy is automatically modified for us. So we do not have to do a lot of manual things. So from the graphical user interface, you got to select the service and then the activities that you would like to allow inside that particular account. Now, once this service control policy is attached to that particular account under the organization, the policy will then become effective. Keep in mind that with my experience, I have noticed that it may take few minutes for this policy to be effective once they are attached. If you have sent any invitation to your partner or an organization that you want to collaborate with, all such invitations will be visible under the invitation section. You will also notice that there is an invite account button right here. So you can click on it and start inviting your partners whom you want to collaborate with. At any point in time, you can go to settings and then click on delete the organization, which will unlink all the accounts that you have linked so far or invited so far. If you scroll down to the bottom of this section, you will see certain important things. For example, for an overall organization or an enterprise, would you like to enable access for tag policies or AWS artifacts, cloud formation stack sets, and all those service offerings are listed right here. So once you enable a particular service, you will be enabling it for your entire organization. That means anything that you do in this section under settings, you're actually performing it for all the accounts that are linked under this subscription. Just to summarize AWS organizations, with this you can perform account management activities at scale. You can consolidate multiple AWS accounts you have into a single organization. Consolidating these accounts will really help you use AWS services, control them, and also enforce your policies, for example, identity and access management or CloudTrail, AWS config, tagging, etc.